I've never really spoken about a lot of the trauma or abuse that I went through when I was a child. So, in a brief thing, my parents were never together. As far as I know, there was always animosity, and there's also always some sort of anger or resentment towards each other. Whether that was more one towards the other, I'd never know. But I never knew what an intimate or personal relationship should be like, or how to communicate, ever. And then when I was 10, I went to live with an uncle and auntie. I was whangaed out to an uncle and auntie who I stayed with for 2 years, from 11 through to 12, and then my mother came back and she took me back in, and then I ended up being kicked out and left for the streets at 15. At 15, I had a man take me in off the streets, and this man lived in what was an old house. It was an old building where it had multiple rooms set up with their own kitchen, and then there was a bedroom and a lounge all in one. And then I stayed there, and in this building was in the city, and that's where junkies, homeless people lived. It's where prostitutes would do work, and it was always fights, and it was always busy, and then I could never sleep properly. And so this man would give me sedatives to help me sleep. And then there were times when I'd wake up, and I was only 15, and I'd wake up and I'd be on the couch, and when I was fully clothed, I would wake up, I was in my underwear, or I would wake up and I was in his bed where I was asleep on the thing. And eventually, after a short time, an uncle and auntie found out, and they took me in and they took me out of there. I had nowhere else to go. I had no one to trust. I'd had no one my whole life. All I knew was that this man was taking me in, and he was showering me with gifts and affection and made me feel safe, but he was doing something to me that was not agreeable and was not permitted. Now, when I went to court, eventually we all took this man to court. He got off. I don't know how, and I don't know why. When his lawyer asked me why I would stay with a man who would do this to me, I said to him, because he treated me like a father. I knew no more, I knew no less. And it took me years to find out who I was, and who I was as a man, and who I was as a person. He took something from me that I could never get back, and I had to find it again. He was a Māori man, and I never learned how to trust a Māori again. So now, after years of searching and digging deep, I've learned to love myself, and I've learned to love my culture, and I've learned to love Māori men again, and trust. And so now, every week, I share a kaupapa with Te Manawa Ora, who have embraced me and shown me what a real man is like, and how it feels to be loved by the right Māori men.